ground mushrooms, pink vegetables, and adds a restaurant quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
For my people that don't get to see me, trying to remind you who you are, just like in Romans 3. See, we about to blow across the world just like a day that's breezy. This motivation for the people and this classic Bible teaching say, hey, this for my people that don't get to see me, trying to remind you who you are, just like in Romans 3. See, we about to blow across the world just like a day that's breezy. This motivation for the people and this classic Bible teaching, hey, 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 motivation.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
I miss all my friends in school.
Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccine.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Let's get back to getting ticks instead of watching flicks. Before we can safely get out there, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your crew.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tybok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier Blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone's con. See you there.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em! It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm.
Hello, clean bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
All right, good evening and welcome to another edition, a live edition of the O&G Strike Zone. Brian Fulford, Calvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway, joining you for tonight's episode. Calvin, Kofi, how we doing, fellas?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Trying to figure out some moving hacks. You know, gotta do some moving here in the end of the month. So I'm looking for little tips and tricks.
Moving or movie?
Moving, ING. Yeah, so I'm just looking for trying to find little moving hacks, you know, little things to make the process easier. When you haven't moved in 12 years, it's a painstaking project.
You ain't got to tell me. I hate moving.
Yeah.
Moving
I
stinks.
do too. That's why I haven't moved. That's why I haven't moved in 12 years. So looks like we'll have Kelvin here in just a second. Hello to everybody watching us on YouTube and on Facebook. Appreciate you guys jumping in, tuning in to the show. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ONG Strike Zone. And any comments or any, suggestions, ideas, thoughts, if you don't reach us on our personal Twitter handles, you can always send an email to the show, ongstrikezone@gmail.com. Father's Day was this past weekend. Shout out to all the Rattler dads out there. And, of course, you, Kofi, and Kelvin as well. We get him back up. How was your Father's Day? Happy belated. I said Happy Father's Day to you anyway, but how'd you spend Father's Day last weekend?
Father's Day was cool. I started off by teaching some lessons, and then I made it back to Duval, and I was greeted with cards and gifts and hugs and kisses and all that other stuff. But they made me feel good, and they cooked a magnificent meal. They really like to. My wife really likes to cook, and so does my youngest daughter. So they put together a nice little, I want to say, kind of extravagant meal. That was cool, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my day.
Nice. Now, do you get the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or is it just the dinner?
No, I wasn't there for breakfast, but if I had been, they would have done it.
Gotcha.
But it's cool. They made me feel really special. My wife rubbed my kneecaps and everything because they were bothering me a little bit. So, and then I said it's Father's Day, so I gave her something else to rub, like my shoulder and stuff like that. Did over there and was like, he rubbed this. It's Father's Day and everything. I was like, get on over there and do them dishes and everything because it's Father's Day. So I was like, go on and take out that trash because it's one day out the year. One day out the year.
The
right?
one day out the year. God bless you. And yeah, exactly. And hope all of you guys out there, you Rattlers, the Rattler dads out there, you had an opportunity to feel some love on the day as well. Shout out to the folks in the chat room already buzzing about. I see him in here. Dr. Lori's on the moderating today, so keep it clean in the chat room. Nowhere. I'm moving locally. It's staying in Orlando right now. So, yeah,
Wait,
staying around town.
The install of the, I'm just being random, very random.
That's fine. It's gonna be a random show today. So go ahead.
Just the install of our field turf. The first year we played on it was 2019. Because we didn't have it that first year with Coach Simmons in 2018.
Right.
Coach Simmons came.
And so
his
just
first year was 2018.
Right.
And then 2019 we had the turf.
Gotcha. And just so people want to know where that random conversation came from, I had just seen a post. Alabama State was pulling up their field turf. I saw some pictures online, and having been on our field turf recently, I was looking at it and was thinking it might be time for our field turf to be. I don't know what put it like this: the end zone doesn't look as orange as it used to look. So I was, look, I don't know what the life or how often you're supposed to change the field turf. Obviously, since we haven't had it since 2019, we're not even a full 4 years of usage into it. So, and I don't know if that's a paint thing, maybe I don't know what the paint job, but it's just a random conversation that kind of came up. So yeah, a lot of people really enjoyed last week's show, the APR conversation again with Dr. Shante Friday Stroud. We're going to open up the lines a little bit later, let you guys kind of talk and reflect back on that and share any thoughts and comments, because the APR talk has been one of the big conversations all week. Now, I will say one thing that I'm kind of curious about, Kofi, before we get into talking about one of the big stories of the week. We have not seen anything officially from FAMU, and if it's out there, somebody correct me. But from a university or an athletic department, we have not seen any just sharing of news about APR. I can go to HBCU. I can go to BCSN, my BCSN .com, and I can see an article that my good friend Drew wrote I can go to HBCU Game Day and I can see articles by Vaughn Wilson. I can go and see an article that talks about how FAMU's golf program scored one of the highest scores on the university level. I just had the article pulled up, so I don't know where it just went to. But we haven't seen anything official yet, not even celebrating the successes. Does that concern you?
You know, I want to be careful how I word this, so I'm taking a deep breath. I'm going to take a deep breath. All right. So this is life with an interim AD who is still trying to iron out and put out additional fires. And the good thing that I do know about AD Smith is that he is working hard with Coach Simmons to really put together a comprehensive plan so that all of our athletes can have success with the APR. All of our teams did well except one. So there has to be, even with that, there still needs to be, I want to say, communication. And that's the one thing that we want to reiterate to the administration. A lot of the drama and a lot of the confusion that goes on the highest of Seven Hills comes from a lack of communication, a lack of engagement with a fan base and a group of constituents and supporters that want information. We want to know what's going on. We want to know why things are the way that they are. So all of that is necessary, but this is just life with an interim. He's putting out additional fires, doing a number of different things. And what I am confident about is that he's going to put together something along with Coach Simmons that's going to give us, I want to say, concrete success. The main buy-in that I'm looking for is really from our administration and from our BOT. And even from, just the fact that they would be willing to come together and meet, I think would be phenomenal at this juncture and point. You bring people together, say, hey, they're getting together to talk about financially structuring our budget so that we can support our athletes on an academic level, to give them what they need so that we never have to see this again. That's really what it's all about. That's what we talked about last week. That's one of the things that really, really, really needs to happen for first. So I'm not really all that concerned about it. It's just a part of the process of, what happens when you lose one AD and you bring another guy in who's kind of like been cold and just really still trying to get his footing and put together a strike tour and get things together for the upcoming football season and get ready for volleyball season, which is on the way, and get ready for the athletes, the new athletes that are coming in, and make sure that we have the right compliance people in place and all that other stuff. So it's a lot.
Oh, no doubt. It's a lot. But I still say there's still a communications department. I know the university has a communications department. I would love to see some help and assistance. I'd love to see
there should be, but really by and large, and this has really been my beef, I want to say, over the last 6 months or so. Did Dr. Robinson call you?
Let me check my phone. No call yet. No.
Dr. Robinson didn't call you? Did he send you an email or anything? No. Did you see his press conference?
There was a press conference?
Did you
Dr.
see
Larry Robinson? Dr. Larry
Yes.
Robinson had
Yes.
a press conference?
Did you see it?
Missed it. No.
Oh. Yeah. That's my point.
I thought you were breaking news. I was upset.
No,
I'm like,
bro.
hold on, I missed something. I was like, wait a minute. But
Look, that's
But
my
yeah,
point.
you
That's
bring
my
up a good
point.
point. So
He really has to, you know, he's the leader, whether we want him there or not. He's still the leader of Rattler Nation. And so
yeah.
when he speaks, whether I like to hear him speak or not, I am going to listen to see what it is that he is talking about and saying. Now, the good thing, the thing that I do know about Dr. Robinson is he likes to hold things a lot closer to the vest. That way, you know, the less information that's out there, the less ninjas, quote unquote, he has to deal with, and less questions from ninjas he has to answer. He does not like to answer questions from random ninjas. He does not like to do that. That really gets on
Guys
his
guys
last
who host
nerve.
podcasts and TV shows, right? That kind of
Yes, he
those type of
doesn't
ninjas, those type of
he doesn't
ninjas.
like randomness. He likes he likes to be in control, you know, and really the BOT likes to have a measure of control with the way that they operate. It would have been nice to hear something from somebody, you know, from up top. You know, and even and this is my thing, you know, President Trump didn't have to go in front of everybody all the time. He had a press secretary who would go out in front and take and say the wrong stuff and do all that stuff that they, you know, blah blah blah. But you have, so at least with that, you have a measure of communication, you know, and every few months you would have somebody or the president would come on in a controlled atmosphere and give us a State of the Union address, right? Cutting off all your TV shows and all that other stuff. So it would be nice if we had a State of Rattler Nation address on some level. It'd be cool. And I
Hey,
think that would be
Jay Stokes on YouTube says that Dr. Robinson's in a witness protection program somewhere. I don't think so, because I just saw him in a picture in the Atlanta airport.
Listen, that Dr.
That
Robinson
wasn't him.
can take, if he don't do nothing else, he gonna take a photo op. If it's gonna be something, he don't even have to like you, bro. He don't even have to like you. Dr. Robinson is going to get his face in a picture somewhere. I was amazed with all of the drama and the craziness that was going on with him and Courtney, how many photo ops those Negroes took together with all the stuff that was going on. It's like, well, is everything okay? Well, they up there, you know, they smiling,
Keep up
hands all
appearances.
out, check, you know, hands on the check, smiling, you know, eyes on the prize, et cetera,
It's a
et cetera.
check. Everybody's got a hand on a check.
Based off
Check.
the photo op, you just look by the photo op, you would think nothing is going on. But President Robinson, that's how we need to get him out there. That's what we need to do. Let's get a camera out there and say we having a major photo op, and President Robinson will probably be there.
Hey, as we wait oh, there he is. Okay. I think he's got everything all squared away. Kelvin Rozier joining us. Hope you another one of our Rattler dads. Hope you had a good Father's Day. How was your Father's Day, Kelvin?
It was actually a wonderful Father's weekend. I went to the beach with the family and enjoyed St. George Islands, and then had a nice brunch on Sunday, and then got to watch movie. Of course, I got to choose the movie, and you can tell by the choice. And you can tell by the choice, it was really my choice. We went and saw
What'd you see?
Buzz Lightyear.
Jurassic Park?
Buzz Lightyear.
Wow, wait a minute. Buzz Lightyear, huh?
To
Okay.
infinity and beyond.
Nice. All right. Well, man, it's maybe when I grow up, I can be like you guys and borrow some kids and have a Father's Day. That sounds like a good move.
Infinity and beyond.
Yeah. I can keep the other 364 days though. Look. Yeah. What?
Seriously, I want to hear Dr. Larry Robinson say, "To infinity and beyond." I think that'll be. If he get up there and
I'm going to say something. I'm not going to do that.
there.
I was going to say something, but I would get in trouble. Let me stop. Hey, one of the big stories happening actually sometime in the next, I don't know, 24 hours will be the Marching 100's performance in the Louis Vuitton fashion show. I don't know if any of you guys have been able to pay attention to some of the tweets or just some of the, if you guys don't follow FAMUnews.com, university's publication, they've been writing some good stories. Andrew Scarrett, who actually, Andrew was a big help in me getting Dr. Friday Stroud on the show. He seems to be over in Paris. But Kofi, why don't you kind of give folks the rundown of some great articles on how this came about, the different entities that had to work together to be able to pull this off. Give us, you know, I'm going to turn it over to you as our member of the 100 on this show, and your thoughts on the Marching 100 performing in Paris. I believe the first time since 1989.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, let's just, I mean, let me applaud the administration for getting this right without complication, because this very well, a few years ago, woo, I'm not sure this thing would have come to fruition the way that it did. And I'm happy to see that all of the parties that were connected jumped in and did whatever they could to make this thing happen. You know, obviously, when a major company, a major international company invites a representative or even your school to do something, or an organization within your school to do something, it is quite an honor. And Louis Vuitton is one of the biggest brands on the planet. And to go to Paris is even bigger, you know, on that stage. That's huge, right? So, you know, it seems like it, okay, we're just gonna pay our tickets. Well, no, you got to go. There's all kind of security protocols that come along with traveling abroad. You couple that with COVID, you know, and all the stuff that comes along with that. There's a lot that comes into that. So, you know, just normally you wouldn't think, you know, most kids aren't even thinking about a passport. Like, oh yeah, what's the possibility I could be going out the country? You know, blah blah blah. But you know, you join the 100, you're gonna probably need your passport sooner than later, because you are going to travel. You're going to be exposed to a number of different things. And I think just going forward, I think that that's something that should be a part of those that are entering into the bank, because you just never know when another opportunity is going to come. Another one could drop from another country at any time, and you know, you want to be able to be ready and have your students prepared to be thinking on a global level and a global scale, even from a university partnership standpoint, understanding that there are other universities, other companies around the world that we want to send our students to and give them that level of exposure. Having a passport gives you global access. So that's just, you know, FYI. But they came together, the deans came together, the presidents came together, everybody came together to make this thing happen. And I'm happy, man. I think that that's amazing, because it's good PR, finally, on the highest of 7 hills. This is definitely good news, and I'm happy to hear it, man. They did it.
Hey, I'm going to read from this story, or just a quick little snippet, just so you can get a feel for all of the different parts that went into this. And this is from the story on, again, FAMUnews.com. If you're not familiar, and this is an article written by Andrew Scarrett from just a couple days ago, matter of fact, where the assistant director of marching and pep bands, Daryl Baker, is quoted as giving credit to the following groups: President's Office, College of Social Sciences, Arts and Humanities, Dean Valencia E. Matthews, PhD, the Office of University Advancement, the Office of International Education and Development, the Provost Office, alumni, elected officials. I mean, that's at least a handful of folks that
Listen,
had to pull this off.
I'm trying to tell you that getting the band just to go to freaking Southern last year was quite the task. All right. Getting them to find a way to do that was quite the task, let alone getting them out of the country. Now, this is just something that I think is an opportunity that you don't want to miss. You want to give your students the thing about the FAMU experience is you're going to have access, you're going to have connection to global resources, and that's literally it. If I go to the School of Journalism, there's a possibility that I'll be able to get some measure of mentorship from somebody like a Pam Oliver or Denise Hendricks, or somebody on that level that is doing major things with Kim Godwin, major things with major networks. To have that access, man, is priceless.
Yeah.
And just our athletic teams. There could be a billionaire or millionaire across the way. There was some talk years ago about FAMU playing another team over there in Africa. Imagine that. Or playing a game in the Bahamas or in Jamaica. Imagine that. That is a possibility. With the popularity that HBCUs, I want to say the boom and the swing that HBCUs are experiencing right now, anything is indeed possible, man. So, I'm happy to see that everybody came together, and that's the kind of attitude we need across the board. Let's find a way to get the right things done. Let's find a way to just get the right things done. You do that, you're going to have good success.
Kelvin, your thoughts on the 100th trip to Paris, all university parts coming together in this kumbaya moment to make this happen for the students. Your thoughts?
Well, you got to remember, it's fully funded, so that makes things a lot easier to do, right? So it's on
Sure.
somebody else's dime, and so this, but that's what happened is what should happen, as Kofi was trying to say. Um, we do a lot better and we do a lot more when we do things together and we work together, and I would like to see that consistently done across the board, to raise the stature and the and put our best ambassadors and our brands out there to the world, and that's what this does. I mean, it's a big deal, and kudos to the 100. I mean, it just speaks to the brand that they are, the iconic brand that they are, and so we need to treat them as such, and that's why they need to be, when the Rattlers travel, especially in the SWAC now, we need our band to travel with us during football season.
Yes.
It just adds to the atmosphere and the pageantry of the game. And so, whatever it takes to fund that and to put the resources in place, that's what we need to do. And hopefully
And
we'll plan to do that.
yeah, we'll definitely have something on that measure, on that note, to talk about next week with that. So I'm looking forward to that conversation with everyone that is here now and those that are on the way. But absolutely, man, this is just major for FAMU. And I'm not going to be petty and say whose band is not there. I'm just happy that our band is. The end.
The show will air tomorrow, Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern on LouisVuitton.com. For those of you who may not know how to spell that, LouisVuitton.com.
Bruh.
And you can also what?
Black people know how to spell Louis Vuitton. You see all them Louis Vuitton wallets and purses and suitcases we be traveling with. Are you kidding? We know about Louis, boy. Come on now.
All right. The I after the U in front of the T's. You can also find it on Instagram. Louis Vuitton, 8:30. I think there might be even some pre-show stuff happening, if I saw it correctly, around 7:45 or so. So obviously they're 6 hours ahead. So it's an afternoon show. So pretty interesting. I mean, I'm sure there'll be an interesting documentary or something that'll take place. Only 35 band members, if I read correctly, that attended this. So this is a very small, select group of students that went on this trip. So congratulations again to the Marching 100 for once again representing FAMU and just proving that look, they are a brand that continues to need. We need to take care of the brand, as you just said, Kelvin, and our brands that stand out in front. We need to take care of them. That's all I'm going to say. Let's take a break. Come back. We might have a special guest. Got to see if we do or not. If not, I may start a fire and see where it goes. But we will get into some conversation. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to share your thoughts on any current news, especially last week's conversation regarding APR and fundraising and things of that nature. We want to hear from you. So a lot of that will happen in today's show. Promise. Stay tuned. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone. We'll be back in just a moment.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
For my people that don't get to see me, trying to remind you who you are, just like in Romans 3. See, we about to blow across the world just like a day that's breezy. This motivation for the people and this classic Bible teaching say, hey, this for my people that don't get to see me, trying to remind you who you are, just like in Romans 3. See, we about to blow across the world just like a day that's breezy. This motivation for the people and this classic Bible teaching, hey, motivation.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
I miss all my friends in school.
Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccine.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Let's get back to getting ticks instead of watching flicks. Before we can safely get out there, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your crew.
This is Ryan Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tybok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
All right, back to the Owen Zone. Brian, Kelvin, Kofi. It's told you it's gonna be one of those special shows today because we're gonna hit you with some different stuff, some surprises, and we are pleased to have joining us Wally Williams, former Rattler, as well as NFL player with the New Orleans Saints, Baltimore Ravens. Let me think, Wally. Cleveland Browns? Yes or no?
Cleveland
Where
Browns.
else? Where else? That's what I
That's
thought.
right there in Cleveland. So that's my first stop, and the Saints was my last. So that you got them all right.
Okay. All right. See, that memory I got, boy, it's still there. It's still there.
It's
Hey,
still
good to have you back. Thank you, sir. Good to have you back on the show. Pleasure to have you back. Before we get going into some of the news relating to FAMU, more current events, some sad news that we learned earlier today. You part of the Baltimore Ravens alumni. You guys are having a tough day as not only a current player, but one of the guys that you played with and against. You learned the news both past today or overnight. Tony Saragusa being one that you played with. So condolences to you and your former teammates or and everybody in that Ravens organization. Let's start there with your thoughts on Tony Saragusa. And we saw the big personality from afar on through TV, but what was he like to play with and against?
Oh man, it was a great teammate. Great teammate. That personality was not just for the camera. That was every day. He brought it to practice every day. He brought it to walk through every day. He brought it with him as much as possible. And he was one of those players in the locker room and on the team that we needed. We had a lot of characters on that team. We had a lot of good players, but a lot of those players were great characters and great teammates. And Goose is our all-time favorite, man. It's not just for the players that played with him during that time and had that Super Bowl run, but it's the entire city. It's the entire city that actually was just galvanized with Goose's presence and the kind of guy he was. Very giving guy. He loved his Italian culture and Italian roots, and he had fun with those things. So he'll be dearly missed, and he was one of those guys that we look forward to seeing every year. We go back to Ravens events, and he'll be one of those guys that'll be missed.
Most definitely. I remember Goose when he was with I think he was with the Colts before he came over to the Ravens. I always felt like that was one of the bad giveaways that the Colts let get away, is let a guy like Goose get away. The other young man, Jalen Ferguson, current linebacker with the Ravens, was 26 years old. So really tough day, I'm sure, for a lot of people in that building, trying to process it all.
I don't think I've ever heard of two players in the sun on one team having, players for one team having two guys pass like that in the same day. That's the first. I don't think I've ever heard of that. So it was definitely a sad day in Baltimore, and a lot of fans are trying to figure out what's going on because you had really two key figures now. Like I said, Goose is a key figure in the community, And every year, man, every year the city looks forward to him coming back and being a part of that Ravens Super Bowl celebration. So he's one of those guys, man. As a competitor, he was a dirty guy who did all the dirty work. But as a teammate, you want him right there on your team. So great guy, and man, it's just shocking to hear him going at 55.
The brotherhood of football is just something, just athletes and how athletes deal with news like this. I mean, we've seen it in our own campus with student athletes on the college level, and then professional. Talk, if you can, just a second before we transition, let people know what this year might be like, or when student athletes deal with a situation like that. For example, FAMU had a situation where they had lost a pitcher, FAMU baseball, young man before the season. So, but how does that work in the locker room? What kind of bonds are strengthened when tragedies like that occur for sports teams?
Well, I mean, these moments, give players an opportunity to, reassess their lives. We don't want to go through losing a teammate, losing a family member. I don't know how many guys I've lost in the last 5 years, from whether it be COVID, from whether it be all kinds of illnesses. Look at how we lost Coach Riley. Look at how we lost Robert Wilson. Look how we lost Tim Green. Just to name a few right here in FAMU culture, and these guys are my coaches and teammates. And these things continue to happen. So we have to stay. I think we have to stay positive with our lives. A lot of people look at their lives and like to feel sorry for themselves and they want better and look at somebody else and want what they have. All these things that we deal with over the years. I think when it comes down to it, we as athletes really enjoy our time and focus on the days that we have in front of us, because we know by statistics that those things can be compromised. We watch it every day. We had to go through today in Baltimore seeing one of our great guys fall at 55 years old. And I'm 51 and I played with this guy. And you can't help but wonder if you don't, if you're in the right situation, making the right decisions for yourself mentally and physically. So it's a scary time, but it's also a time to reflect, also a time to understand, the possibilities that you have, and of course, and then relish the time that you have with the people that you lose. So yeah, it brings everybody together. It makes you look at yourself and makes you understand and relish the opportunity that you have in front of you, and just try to do the best job you can.
Appreciate it. Kelvin, let me let you get in there and toss some questions over to Wally, if you would.
All right. Well, I want to transition over to um, your organization. I want you to kind of talk about what you did and accomplished in terms of fundraising on behalf of family football specifically. What was your passion? What led you to that? And then talk about what you were able to do thus far, and then maybe what you hope to do long term with this organization.
Well, I think one thing that we've been able to do is the mission is to bring together all groups of FAMU football, from as old as the 50s to the recent guys who just finished last year, to get membership from all players and to bring all decades together, so we can share those conversations, share those moments, share that with fans, and try to really build a unified front with all of our alumni. Now, with that being the foundation of it, of course, there's money raising and all those things that come along with that. And we're being very creative in how we're doing that, and very selective on the things that we do to help FAMU out as much as possible, help the football team out as much as possible. So the last couple of years, we.
Oh, did we lose Wally?
Yeah, I think he on iPhone. Froze.
Let's give it a second and see if we catch back up. A lot of times, what I think we gotta remind whenever the funny thing about the technology when you're on your phones and everything, you got to make sure you put your put yourself on airplane mode or do not disturb. I know on the Apple or the Galaxies have the do not disturb that'll let you connect in. So in a second, I'm sure we'll have Wally back in. But just to catch up here, FAMU Football Alumni.org is the name of the organization. And then we got Wally Williams back. So go ahead and finish up, Wally, what you were saying there.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but the intent of our program is to work directly with the football program and with the players and provide them with as much hospitality as we possibly can. We put in an order for some slides and make sure the players and the coaches have those things available. Just whatever we can service and help those guys feel better. Feel better about their accomplishments and what they're doing. And also keep us engaged and to keep us involved in as many alumni things as we possibly can, because we think that's a missing art that we have lost in building a significant foundation for the future and being competitive. We know what the landscape is with other universities and who's getting the pub. And, we have to step up in our side and try to develop as much as we can for our players. So that's our angle, raising money so we provide these kids whatever service they need to be the best possible rattlers, and they can grow and subsequently become pros, because somebody needs to be better than me. Somebody needs to play more than 10 years in the NFL. So we're waiting on that, and hopefully Marquise Bell is the start of that position and try to make that happen.
Kofi, go ahead.
Hubba Wally. Yes, sir. Hubba Wally, man.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna have you to fire up the Cub Scout crew. Me, you, and Kelvin was gonna fire it up.
They don't know about that.
You was from the Walker Ford troop. Army troop in the country and obey the law and pack around this mug. Yeah.
That's that deep rooted Tallahassee stuff right there.
Yeah, deep rooted. Walker Ford.
That's right.
There we go, right there. But seriously, let me just say, obviously, we've been around Tallahassee a long time, and we've seen FAMU at its best. We've seen FAMU at its worst, and now we're going through another transition. And you're a visionary kind of guy, so I kind of want you to speak to what you would like to see from our next AD.
I would want to see a true joint project with the administration to build a significant football program. I think what we're doing right now, and I'm just being as blunt as possible with it, I think what we're doing right now is wasting a lot of time still. Okay, I think the locker room and how that looks, yeah, of course we're going to say it's great because it was garbage before. It couldn't help but be better. Okay, is that the right way to do it? I don't think so. I think they should have blew the whole thing up and started fresh. The stadium, okay, did it need an upgrade? Yes, it did. Okay, but I still feel that we're putting lipstick on a pig, man, and we should have moved the stadium and started all over again. New facilities, new bathrooms, all those things like that. Not try to recreate something that we have already failed at before. So, I want to see the logistics of the program get better to where we're working at an efficient place. We're doing things to make progress and build a foundation that's going to be consistent with the future and not something that we're trying to patch up right now. So I'm kind of, I'm 50-50 with what I see right now, because I don't think the logistics of it are going to last. I think we're going to keep rebuilding and fixing something that we should just start over from ground zero and got done the right way with the right people in place and making the right decisions.
Hubba. Hey, let me ask this, because obviously when you're talking about facilities, he did mention something in regards to having an administrative buy-in. I mean, you look at, let's take a North Carolina A&T or even a Jackson State. And really with North Carolina A&T, you have the whole state of North Carolina, the governmental portion of it, making it possible for them to have good success, because the government is equally invested in the success of all of their institutions. So it makes it easier to get additional funding for it in athletics. Whereas in the state of Florida, we have different metrics and different things like that that come along with it. And then you take, like, let's say Jackson State. You had an interim president, but even that interim president, along with their athletic director, Ashley Robinson, were on the same page. And so consequently, you bring in somebody with the brand like a Dion, you're getting a wave of energy, you're getting a wave of influence, you're getting a wave of resources that are surrounding the program, and you're able to tap into a community that was ready to do more for their institution. So obviously, there are layers of things that need to happen. And I want to say, obviously, you all are doing your part with the football alumni group. But what are some additional things, just right off cuff, because I know you're a rattler, so you think about these things all the time. If you
All the
had
time.
three things just right off the top that you would do instantly for FAMU athletics.
Okay, so the first thing I would do is I would dedicate the field to Jake Gaither and call it Bragg Memorial Stadium at Jake Gaither Field, okay, and make it ground zero, make it a hollow zone, and make it historical. Okay, I don't think we give any reference to our great players and great alumni within that stadium. I think if when you come to the stadium, it's just a stadium. Okay, it's nothing spectacular. We don't pay tribute to our retired number of players. We don't pay tribute to anybody, as far as I'm concerned. So I think that needs to show a lot better with our fans or just with the university presenting their stadium and their venue. It needs to be Bragg Stadium at Jake Gaither Field. Okay, that's the change right there to start. Secondly, I will blow up the facility. Okay, that locker room. Okay, that has to go. Okay, it has to go. It's been there since we were babies, Kofi. Come on, man. All right, we played tackle football in front of that thing way back in the 70s. Okay, it needs to go. We need to update the stuff and do it the right way. If we can update administration buildings, and if we can blow up Paddyfoot, we can blow up that ragged behind venue down there in that facility. Okay, that has to go. Okay, the third thing we need to galvanize our business sense and bring the money back to the university. Parking. Business deals with Fortune 500 companies. More revenue building with our concessions, all these things like that. Make alliances with people and stop selling me popcorn, okay, and lemonade out of a trough, okay, for my concession stand, and then run out of ice halftime, okay. What are we doing? What are we doing? And these are things where people sit back and laugh at all day. I think it's asinine that we as a program of higher learning still had this high school stuff. I have better time at Ricker's games, okay, than being a fan at my alma mater. I'm sorry. So that's what I think needs to change. Okay. If we did that, maybe even had working bathrooms on a continuous basis. I may have a better experience out there on Saturdays. But so far, I just come to see the football team and the band, and I go home. And I try to eat when I get back to the crib. That's how I feel about it.
Hubba
Hey, just well said. I mean,
sorry. Not sorry. We not sorry.
Not sorry.
We say what we got to say.
You know what I'm saying?
Say what we say. We've been saying it. We've been saying it for the last, it feels like 2 months now, consistently every week. Now, the FAMU football alumni chapter is a direct support organization of the National Alumni Association. I mean, you guys, and I want to encourage anybody who, if you go to our Facebook page at ONG Strike Zone, I made a point to share the post from chapter president Craig Hall when he posted out not only the donation to the program, but the gifts that you guys supplied the team with, because we've got not only your support, your organization support. I know there's another we've got all these organizations trying to help, like you said. And I guess my question for you, Wally, is being in this role now where you're sort of part of the National Alumni Association, and you're seeing sort of the politics of things play out. What is it going to take for a true change to happen? Is it, and I'm not asking you to advocate for a change in leadership, but hell, if that's what it takes. But I'm just serious because we keep asking people why. You know, when we had all these people in town for the National Alumni Association, I wonder how many people went by our athletic facilities and looked at our facilities, because we want to prop up and, you know, lift up our athletic programs and our band, but then we ask our student athletes to play in some of the facilities and some of the places, and what they do is less than what it should be. And so I just keep scratching my head, beating my head against the table, saying, what is it going to take? So I ask you, now that you're on that other side and you're seeing how the politics play around, what do you think it's going to take? What is it going to take for true change to begin to happen?
Well, it's not going to happen with the leadership that we have right now. That's for sure. Okay. You know, President Robinson is not a football guy. And you know what? We've been spoiled. I've been spoiled. I'm sorry. I came through at Humphreys and Coach Riley, and all these guys were passionate about athletics, and they worked hand in hand to build the programs that we had during that time. And that's why we had successful individuals come out of that program. It resonated with the top. And that's what Dr. Humphreys was for us. It was for us with everybody. I think everybody was on board with the mission. And it was very clear on what the mission was for our university to be the greatest at everything that we did. I'm sorry. I don't feel that passion right now. I don't even like the whole strike thing with Dr. Robinson saying. Need to get rid of that and put Dr. Humphreys out there the whole time. That's his deal, not Robinson's. So you know what? It needs to start at the top. And I hear too many people in alumni that say the exact same things. Okay, the passion is not there. He is not an athletic-minded guy that wants to work with athletics, okay, and build anything. So that needs to resonate at the top and just furthest down to the bottom. Now, control of athletics and who is making the decisions. We don't have one professional athletic person making a professional decision or making a conscious decision about athletics. If there's one in that office, find one. Tell me so I can identify with it, but nobody with real professional experience. So can we really trust that we're going in the right direction? You know, at least when Coach Ken Riley was there, we knew he was in the pros and he knew some visual about where we're going. You know, why can't we have Henry Lawrence as a liaison or any other kind of person who has had that experience to be a liaison within the program, just like you see at the University of Miami when they bring Highsmith back or Ed Reed back, even across the street, Florida State has brought Corey Fuller back. If that's the infrastructure in building, I don't know why we think we're trying to reinvent the wheel here. And those things irritate me the most when they're right in front of you. They seem to work, and then we take on an initiative like we the goats of college football. We at the bottom of the barrel as far as I'm concerned. Okay, we won the SWAC, but we're going to get smacked around by Jackson State. I don't care what you say, because they have the best facilities. They bring the money in, and these kids want what? They want facilities, they want jerseys, and they want money. Say what you want, and they have an NFL coaching staff. That's what we're up against. And we don't step up collectively with one mission as a unit, one mission as a university. The coach that we have right now, he's not going to be there. He's going to go somewhere else. And we're going to have to find a way to fix that, which puts us back in another hole, because the next coach is going to want what? Facilities to compete with Jackson State, to compete with A&T, to compete with Tennessee State. And that puts us right back to square one of blowing up Gallimore again. Okay? Those are the things that need to happen. Leadership needs to be more focused. If we can have 10 more administration buildings and a new paddy foot, we can get a new Gallimore stadium, new Gallimore facility. And that brings in our players. That keeps the program functional. And we are 15 years behind where we need to be, even when we finish. And I stand strong on those things. I've seen it many, many places before, and I see other programs that have taken that step, and they're ready to play, and they're ready to make some moves.
Damn. Well said, Wally. Well, I don't think I don't want to add anything to that. I'm just let that breathe. Kelvin, Kofi, anything you want to say or add? We just let that breathe, man. Wally, let people know where they can find you. Anything you want to plug or let people know about before we let you get out of here.
Man, y'all can find me at the crib, man. I'm at the house. What are you talking about? Notre Dame Street, okay? Southside Tallahassee. It ain't changed. No, man. You can find me bouncing around Tallahassee. I like to work with these kids at the big out there and have a good time.
Kobe felt that one, right?
You know, I like to roll up on you and just give you whatever feedback I love being on FAMU campus and talking with those kids and letting them feel the opportunity that they do have from them. I'm just like them. I'm just like them, a small town guy from Southside Tallahassee, hanging out there with Kofi and out there at Rickers High School and trying to make it big and got lucky. So if you don't believe you can, then it won't. If you don't get out there and as my mom says, nothing venture, nothing gain, how would you know what your success would be? So I like to give that advice and give that to anybody. You know, we have to come together and build this program the right way if we want to see a success. And that takes everybody coming together and having one cause of being the best university on all levels. Football, basketball, baseball, athletics. Hey, band always showing up. We know what's going to happen with those guys. All right? We know what's going to go on with those guys. We need to maintain that same culture throughout the university. So I'm vigilant about that, man. I'm diehard about that. So I'll still be fighting and ringing my gong as loud as I can with our football chapter and everybody wants to join us.
Let's go.
Well said. Well said. FAMU football alumni.org is the website. If you got a friend that's a former FAMU alum and they have not joined the site or they didn't know about it, point them to that site and let them know that organization. We need you. We need every alum, and then we need to be able to celebrate you guys, and I feel like every athletic organization or team should have something like that. I think there is a baseball one, but I mean all of our sports need to have that sort of connection that allows for not only the young, the next generation to connect, but also those of us who enjoyed watching you guys out on the field and the court and you guys representing FAMU the way you did to be able to celebrate and recognize as well. So God bless everything you guys are doing.
One more thing before I forget.
Yes, sir.
One more thing before I forget.
For sure.
This for fans out there, everybody listening, everybody needs to be in tune to this. We're going to start a silent auction here in the next couple of weeks. We have all kinds of paraphernalia from guys who played in the NFL or college things that go back for Jake Gaither days that we're going to put out there to auction off. Look on the website, for start dates and when we start putting these things out there. We have a lot of things, autograph jerseys by me, Earl Holmes, Terry Mickens things. Go back to the Eddie Palmore, China Doll. Back when those guys playing, Bob Hayes autographs, items, all these things that we've collected from our alumni. So all of us is trying to raise money for the football chapter to get back to FAMU athletics, and we're excited about this mission. So we look for that silent auction to come up here pretty shortly.
Please keep us in the loop on that. I mean, I don't know if whatever we can do to help, even if it's help publicizing it, even if we need to come up there and kind of do a show from wherever this is going to be held at, we'd love to be a part somehow, some way. Please keep us in the loop and let us know. You got our support anytime and every time.
Awesome. Love you guys. I appreciate the platform, fellas. Love it.
Let's go.
All right. Appreciate you, Wally. Again, Wally Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit Wally up on Twitter as well as you can find him. Give out the Twitter handle, Wally, because I know I saw you on TikTok now. I saw you doing some strange video on TikTok.
I show up all kinds of places. I'm Wally Will 63 on TikTok, and I give you a couple little flavors on there. Twitter is Wally Williams _63. Where you see a lot of guys in my training circle, a lot of kids that I train. I like to post them up there. and definitely promote those guys. And of course on Facebook, Wally Williams, and I like to have fun on Facebook and get a little comical, and again promote my players. I'm an avid of my kids learning and going on to better places and pursuing that dream. So that's my focus. That's my passion. And of course, I hate to say it at times, but I love that orange and green, man. I love it. I just
It comes through. Thank you, Wally. We appreciate your time tonight. Hey, let's take a quick break. We'll come back with some more. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone. We'll be back in just a moment.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong.
Go get 'em.
It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm.
Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Vanilla smoked.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, Kofi. Give a shout out again to Wally Williams. You guys watching us, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, go find Wally on any of those social media platforms. Let him know you appreciate him coming on the O&G and talking with us. Even, look, any of our previous guests, Dr. Friday Stroud, Brandon Howard from last week before when we had Coach McCullum, Coach Shute. Whenever we have our guests on, it's very important. It helps us out a lot. You guys letting the coaches or the guests know that you appreciate them coming on and talking to us. You know, it just helps them want to come back again, excuse me, and also the word kind of gets out, you know, that, hey, you know, they got a real engaging audience and a good group. So any help that you can provide is greatly appreciated. You guys are doing a great job. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button wherever you are, Facebook or Twitter, or, well, actually not Twitter, but YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Okay. We are going to open up the call lines here a little bit shortly. I'm just trying to acquisition the number, make sure I've got the right number again. But a couple of little fires, or a couple little, before I start a fire, Kelvin, I want to make a couple of make a couple things known, some things that have recently come out. FAMU women's basketball. I know how much some of you love FAMU women's basketball, and how some of y'all claim that Coach Pillow is not doing anything. Y'all listening to these shows out here telling y'all Coach Pillow ain't doing nothing. But we finally got a couple of young ladies that signed. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, these are the two that we did hear about a few, maybe a month ago. Okay, yeah, so they were. So first up, officially signed her letter to attend FAMU, Skylar Baltazagar. Hopefully I said that right. Skylar comes to FAMU after spending last season at Charleston Southern, where she averaged 7.2 points and 5.8 rebounds in her freshman year. She earned Big South Freshman of the Week twice. I believe she was about, what is her, I think she might have been about 6 foot or 6'1", if I'm not mistaken, in terms of.
I want to say she was 6'2". She's a true
Really?
center. Yeah.
Nice. Let me look and see if we've got her already added onto the roster. We should. I noticed the roster now says 22-23. So yeah, Skylar's 6'2". Yep, she's from out of Orange Park, Florida. The other, and she plays the forward position. The other signee was, and I hope I don't butcher this name up. It's Midi Oriyami. Midi Oriyami. I hope I'm saying that right, but she's a 6-foot guard. That's good size for a guard. First off, let's just keep it real. 6 feet for a guard. That's really good. So let's not poo-poo on that. She spent last season at Purdue University, and she let's see. Prior to Purdue, she was at Northeastern, and she earned all CAA third team honors, where she averaged 11.6 points a game, 7.7 rebounds a game. So we'll kind of have to do a little digging and kind of see, what was life like at Purdue. Obviously, though, it pales in comparison to Florida. I'll tell you that personally. West Lafayette, Indiana is a big step down in terms of just atmosphere compared to Tallahassee, Florida. So those are the two newest additions to the roster. I don't see any other incoming freshmen so far on the roster. So that's for the that one's for the what is Coach Pillow doing crowd. Okay, I guess we'll put that we'll put that out there. Also announced today, the University of North Carolina. We know, hey guys, you do know August 27th is, we're talking like 2 months. We're just over 60 days from game one. Carolina is going to celebrate all HBCUs around the game against FAMU, their HBCU celebration game. They put this nice little graphic out. They're going to, not only are they playing FAMU in 2022, but I think they're going to be playing Central in 24. But they're calling it the HBCU celebration game, which originally was scheduled for September 17th, but both schools agreed to move the contest up to week 0, which is good. So that's good for us, especially kind of gives us a warm-up game before we have to play down at the OBC. HBCU coaching greats Bill Hayes and Rod Broadway have been invited to be the honorary captains for North Carolina. And I believe FAMU is inviting our Hall of Fame coach and legend, Rudy Hubbard, to serve as its honorary captain for that for that contest. And so during the HBCU celebration game weekend, UNC's National Panhellenic Council will hold a dedication on the for the National Panhellenic Council Garden and Legacy Plaza. So it'll be a good opportunity. I'm actually looking forward to going up to Chapel Hill. I've never been. Have you guys ever been to Chapel Hill, North Carolina?
I have.
Yeah.
I've not been on the campus, but I've been in the area. Yes.
My mother is in
I mean,
elementary.
it's a beautiful. The University of North Carolina is one of the more iconic universities, just period. They are a great university academically. Everyone knows about their athletic success, largely coming from basketball. But Lawrence Taylor played football at the University of North Carolina, so they produced some solid talent through the years. Let me just say, at first, I kind of like rolled my eyes at this whole HBCU celebration thing because I'm just kind of like, guys, like, really? HB. So really, they reached back and then they got Hayes and then they got Broadway to come out, and again, I rolled my eyes and just like, okay, all right. So I'm happy that there is some acknowledgement there. They understand this, but I think they also understand what they need to do to maybe possibly, I want to say, connect with the African American community along Tobacco Road with getting a former A&T coach, two former A&T coaches, and one guy that coached at both A&T and Winston-Salem State, being able to pull from that crowd because those guys carry a lot of weight within that region. So to be able to get more African Americans to come out, that is one way. And at least they're acknowledging the fact that, they have another base that they look to reach. I can't necessarily look too much into it. Huh?
I'm saying, and their state funded schools. I think whenever,
right. So I think they're making the attempt, to at least do something. Obviously, I'm waiting to hear confirmation about the band going. I know there's been a lot of questions. If they're going this route, you can't have an HBCU celebration without the band. Just being real. It's going to be very difficult to try to pull that off without the band being there. So that's just FYI. That's just my thought process really with that. But let me also say, I'm going out on a limb. I think obviously the University of North Carolina is a straight up Power 5 school and a Power 5 program. Mac Brown has a national title at the Division I level. That being said, I think we've got an opportunity, obviously, to play
well. I think
they cut him off because he was going to say something that might have been.
Hey, look. Was he about to get a little too excited there? Hold on, what were you about to play? Hold on, they start you right, and you're about to tell us how they were going to play, Kofi. How were we going to play?
Hey, Kofi, you were going to sell some wolf tickets, and they cut you off, buddy.
Look,
how are we going to play?
Let me go and get my little sideways on here.
How are we going to play?
I believe we got an opportunity to play well in this game. I think that we have upgraded. We've got Division I talent. We've got Power 5 talent on defense, and we've got Power 5 talent on offense. I think that if we come with the measure of intensity and find a way to play aggressively and play fast, I think that we've got an opportunity to play well. Now, obviously, it's a battle uphill. Carolina, is a legit Power 5 program. But I do believe, obviously, I look at the fact that Florida State played Jacksonville State I want to say a year ago or 2 years ago or a few years ago. That was last year.
That was
That
last
was
year.
last year. And Jacksonville State beat Florida State. And then Florida State beat the University of North Carolina. Well, North Carolina A&T beat Jacksonville State a couple of years ago. And FAMU beat North Carolina A&T 2 years running. So there's an opportunity. That's the way I look at it. So shake your head all you want to. I'm sticking with my guns. I believe we have an opportunity to do well in this game.
You seen that meme, Kofi or Kelvin, where the guy is just looking and there's all kinds of like symbols. That was me as I was watching Kofi trying to draw that line and connect the dots there. Like that person beat who? And I'm like, wait a minute, huh? Does that mean we gonna
Look,
Hey, the close,
all I know
the
is
close.
Florida State was sorry last year. Florida State was sorry. They've been sorry the last 2 years. And who beat the University of North Carolina? Florida State.
I wouldn't say they were sorry. They were competitive. They just didn't win the way they should have. They didn't close out games. And that's the last thing you learn. When you got a young team and a team that has lost for a couple of years, they have to learn how to win again. And win fourth quarter specifically, right? Play for 4 quarters. But in terms of that particular game, I'm interested to see how coach gonna play it. I would hope, everybody's healthy, we line up and we compete, right? And the game goes the way the game goes. But we do have the OBC the week following. So
More important.
if the game gets away then from us, then I'm sure coach probably would take an approach that'd be a lot more conservative in terms of who he has out on the field. But those guys, they want to compete. The players, hey, this is their opportunity. We got some guys with some NFL aspirations. So I have no doubt we'll compete. I have no doubt that we're capable of competing. Um, for 4 quarters, it's hard. It's tough work. We start off the season with probably the two best teams we'll see all year. Uh, so we have to come into camp ready. Now, what I do love is that the kids are really working hard already in voluntary workouts, and I really like the bond of this team and the leadership, right? So Isaiah and Rashawn McKay, we've K Dot, we have some guys, a lot of returning guys, that led the team last year. So we have good leadership also. So I just want us to compete, be healthy. Now I wasn't planning on going to this game, but once they decided to make it what they're making it, and they having Coach Hayes, who was also the AD at FAMU for about 2.5 years, I think 3 years, and someone that, for full disclosure, that I'm pretty close with. Um, I have to go support the team and see him. So I'll be at the game rooting for that upset, Kofi.
Well, I will say this though, while we question or wonder whether this release does say the in-game events will feature performances by the UNC Marching Tar Heels and the FAMU Marching 100, who will come to Chapel Hill, complete with their full band, cheer squad, and dance team. I don't know which dance team that is, but anyway, the two programs will both perform separately and then combine for one explosive halftime show fans won't want to miss. There will also be a number of in-game recognitions honoring the history and traditions of HBCUs. So,
And Carolina did this when they played the North Carolina A&T some years ago. The bands did a joint performance, and it's not out of the norm. So it is what it is. Plus, everybody in the universe is playing, talking out the side of your neck. So, this is just a part of that whole process. Now, Dr. Chipman, don't sit up there and let Carolina blow on y'all. Now, don't let them blow on y'all. I'm just playing. All right.
And so that's
No,
the
but seriously,
again.
seriously, it's an opportunity. Um, it's an opportunity, and we need to seize that opportunity. I think that
Yeah.
there's been a lot of talk about HBCU football and the brand of football we play. There's a big discussion that we had. A lot of us are interested to see North Carolina A&T match up against North Dakota State. The Jackson State people have been looking like, hey, I believe we can, you know, line up against North Dakota State, and I'm waiting to see. I'm just like, okay. I personally feel as though our recruitment has gotten better with HBCUs. I think really with the interior line play as we continue to build that up. I think that that's key when you're talking about the quality of FCS football or just quality of football you're just going to play in general. I do think that the defensive side among the HBCUs is a little bit further ahead. That being said, I think we're about maybe 3 years away from really being able to compete on that level and consistently beat a North Dakota State University or one of those type of schools.
We're going to
All
invest in
right.
the
So
program, though. We're going to have to put the
Absolutely.
budget in place for that to happen, right? I think we've got as much return on investment that we can expect right now with how we're funded until we get those other areas in place from compliance to trainers to all the support staff things. Um, I think that's going to be the separation between elite FCS programs and FBS programs and HBCUs. They have to understand and respect the, the the investment it requires, not just in the facility side, but in the people side, the support side.
Right.
Again, that game is the 27th, August 27th, 8 p.m. It will be on the ACC network, so a night game. So yeah, we'll have to make plans to be out there for that one, fellas. There it is, the HBCU celebration game. And I would, well, anyway, I'll be a rant for another show, but we'll talk more about that as we get a little bit later, closer to the season. A couple of things I wanted to bring up because maybe they directly, indirectly affect us. First thing, did you see the Alabama A&M athletic director step down from his position? Brian Hicks steps down to take a leadership role with the SWAC just recently. And so two thoughts that come to mind is one, how does the open position at Alabama A&M affect the pool of potential athletic administrators? There's A&M that's in the process of actually doing some building. I mean, they're building a new arena. They're building for basketball, and they're actually investing. They have invested in their athletic department. If I were to say whose athletic department from a budgetary standpoint looks better, Alabama A&M or Florida A&M, I might say Alabama A&M. I mean, for real. And so that now creates an interesting dynamic. If I were a candidate looking to move into that role, would I be looking at Alabama A&M or FAMU? Two teams in the SWAC East, two programs in the SWAC East. So that'll be interesting. Also curious to see how that affects his son. His son decided to not jump in the transfer portal with some other guys. Will he stay or will he go? That'll be kind of an interesting side note. Any thoughts there, real quick, regarding Alabama A&M in that position? Do you like my theory or thought there? Disagree with it? What do you guys think?
I don't think I don't think is going to impact FAMU search at all. I don't know if they got anybody who who's already there that they might be interested in or not. Alabama A&M does have some nice facilities. They got a brand new basketball. Was it's a multi-purpose arena too, but they got a new arena that should be completed, I think, in the fall. So they already have a very nice stadium that's half empty. But they have some attractions. But now, from a professional standpoint, in terms of prestige, you know, there's only one FAMU. But it's a lot that come with our job, man. It's a lot of expectations and not a whole lot of support. So you got to be
Currently.
seasoned. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to be seasoned. So I don't, but I still think that you have a different uh applicant pool in terms of those two positions for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. Just really, the family job is by far away, obviously more stressful. But at the same time, there's going to be more prominence that comes along with the program. So, by and large, I mean, when we went to the Alabama A&M game this past year, just in my observation with them, Huntsville is a very unique area. It's big. It's not small. But Alabama A&M is not necessarily nearly as connected to the community that FAMU is with Tallahassee. And that's saying a lot, because I feel like there's a lot of ground to gain within the Tallahassee community and even that region. But then Alabama A&M, it's not close. And so when you have that level of support, the sky's really the limit if you have the right administrative support, which is what we're praying about with Dr. Larry Robinson. But we're going to keep it moving. All right.
Yeah, keep it moving. All right, let's take a break. Come back. I told you I'm gonna light a fire. I'm gonna light a fire, and then I'm gonna open up the phone lines for the end of the show here. So let's take a quick 2-minute break. Come back. You're watching O&G Strike Zone. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, I think we are going to take a break. It could be our producer might have fallen asleep. So if my producer is there, all right, so we'll count it down here and see what happens in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Yeah, so that was a quick intermission. Not really sure what happened there. Hopefully everything's okay on the backside. Welcome to live streaming broadcast. Hey, did you guys see the article? I think it was last week. I saw this on HBCU Game Day. Derek Lewis, who is the president of PepsiCo's new multicultural business and equity development organization. Formerly, he was the president of Pepsi South. He's been with Pepsi for 34 years. Did you see the video of Mr. Lewis tossing the ball around at Jackson State and, talking to the team and reemphasizing Pepsi's commitment to Jackson State, saying Pepsi's all in with Jackson State? And it got me to thinking, where are we at? And obviously some of the relationship there. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're good. We don't need the extra B-roll unless you're able to run it real quick. But yeah, obviously he was part of there with the pregame show. Those guys obviously have the exclusive footage there. And it got me to thinking, okay, here's the president of Pepsi South, or the Pepsi New Multicultural Business and Equity Development Organization. Put that on a business card. Been there for 34 years. Now, he has Florida roots. Currently lives right here in the same city I do. So he's not far away from FAMU. FAMU is a Pepsi school. Are we not, Kelvin?
Yes, we are.
No,
since 2015.
Since 2015, we're a Pepsi school. So it got me to thinking. Now, yes, I know Pepsi and Dion have a relationship that goes back to the Cowboys. But when I hear All In, you know what I hear? I hear support. I hear financial support. I hear updates to, whether it be the Pepsi machine, muscle milk, all those things that we've been asking for and needing, right? For our program. And I'm sitting there like, well, what kind of involvement in Pepsi going to have? Is it going to be financial? And I think we need to ask that question. I went back and found an interesting article from Rattler Nation Blogspot. This was dated March 27th, 2019, that spoke about the Muscle Milk Pepsi athletics relationship and how broken it was back in 2019. Now, this was pre-Courtney Gaucher, if I'm not mistaken. But it was 4 years since the relationship, right? And it mentions that, here's our coach saying that we have team nutritional woes, lack of access to the basics such as muscle milk. This was in February of 2019. That sounds real familiar to you guys, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound like stuff that's still happening in 2022? So why are we still having issues with muscle milk and getting supplied with product from Pepsi? But Pepsi is now about to be all in with Jackson State. And I've got a problem with that because at this point, this is an arms race. I hate to compare ourselves and compare everything to the Joneses or the Sanders, but everything that school in Mississippi gets that we aren't getting, that puts us at, you just heard what Wally said, right? Puts us at a competitive disadvantage. So I know Pepsi put us in a little commercial with the Sonic Boom back in the Celebration Bowl. Everybody got excited to see the 100 and the Sonic Boom in a commercial. But what did that bring us? What did that bring us if I still have our coach telling us that we have insufficient muscle milk nutritional needs?
So Brian, I'm trying to put some context in what you're asking. Number
Please,
one,
please.
I admire people who ask folks to come to their campus, who advocate for their programs, who leverage relationships in order to get things done. That's what leaders do. So I applaud JSU and coach for doing that. I hope that it inspires our leadership to do the same. We have a Pepsi contract campus wide with with Pepsi, and it does include athletics because it covers the vending side of drinks and stuff in terms of concessions. So we have a relationship that we can leverage, and so hopefully we'll do that. But I have no shade for um JSU doing what they doing. They doing what they supposed to do, and we got to do what we supposed to do with our leadership.
Oh, and I'm not throwing any
Exactly.
shade at Jackson State, none at all. My if anything, I'm pointing this out to say, yes, what you just said. We need to get on the ball. We need to be going to Derek Lewis, who has been with Pepsi for 34 years, based right here in the state of Florida, and say, hey, Mr. Lewis, come to FAMU. You guys have been a big supporter of FAMU. I know you got a long relationship with Coach Prime, but if we can't get an equal relationship with Pepsi, hell, let's go back to Coke. We loved Coke prior to moving to Pepsi. Go ahead, Kofi.
But let me say this again. Relationships are a two-way street. They are reciprocal. They're supposed to be reciprocal. We can't expect other people to just jump on our bandwagon. Um, we need to invite people and, not piggybacking off of that whole Humphreys era again. And people used to talk about all the parties and stuff that we had under Humphrey's leadership. But Humphreys is a relationship guru. He understood that if people are engaged and they have a relationship with you and you have a good time with them, they're more likely to invest their money with you because you're staying engaged with them and staying in communication with them to make things happen, to make their brand look good. You know, so if we want this thing to really work out, we need people in position that are going to aggressively pursue these relationships. It is the same reason that Childs High School has more local sponsors than Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. It is the same reason that Lincoln High School has more local sponsors than Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, because you have somebody in the seat that is aggressively pursuing these relationships. You know, it's one thing to go after a car dealership. Anybody with a shred of common sense should do that, right? But there are a whole bunch of businesses, and even the big businesses, when all of that money was being handed out to other HBCUs, guess who missed the mark? Because we didn't have anybody in the seat to reach out to make things happen and to bridge the gap that that needed to be bridged. You have to have somebody in the seat that that has the skill set and the willingness to aggressively pursue and maximize these relationships. The end.
Well said. Hey, phone line 678-383-7623. We want to hear from you in this final these final segments of the show. Let us know what you thought about the APR conversation, what you thought about any of the conversations that we've had. We want to hear from you, Rattler Nation. 678-383-7623. A lot to talk about. Again, sometimes we haven't even talked about NIL. One of the things that I brought to my attention, and I think another program is doing this, and maybe this is a side conversation for Wally. We talked about NILs and NIL collectives, and we've talked about this in the past, but I think I was listening to shout out to Keith, Fifth Quarter FAMU, Fangs Up podcast. I was listening to his show the other just yesterday, and he was talking about the fact that UCF, University of Central Florida, recently brought in their biggest name athletes, former athletes, and did an auction with that money from the auction going into their collective, their NIL collective, and using those funds to help student athletes. And I guess that's a conversation that, we all have to start addressing, is that, yes, but like Dr. Friday Stroud wants us to give, and I think we should be giving. But at the same time that we're giving for general purposes, we don't, the idea of the collective and the NILs collectives are so that we know and that that money is going directly towards student athletes. Like how many folks have signed up for the influencer exchange to connect with student athletes? If you have a business, have you connected in with the influencer? I went looking on the FAMU website. I don't even know where the link is to that site, to be honest. I know that was an initiative our previous AD had started, but I went back and looked, and I don't see those links. So I don't know if those links still exist. But we've got to be moving into that direction. At some point, we have to move into that direction. Don't you agree? Yes, I know we got a lot of needs in a lot of different places. But if we don't get on board and create some opportunities for these student athletes, are we going to really be able to contain them or keep them coming?
I saw a post where I think some of our student athletes spent some time um, at a, I guess it was a more like a seminar for student athletes. I saw where Tim Tebow was a part of this.
The
Uh,
NIL summit
uh,
last week.
yes. So I see some efforts in that area. Um, you know, you can't swallow the whole apple. You have to take bites of the apple. Um, I I think what really would help us is having a system, a program, a plan for all of this, and it would probably benefit us to have some outside professional um, consultants to help put this together. But yes, we need a blueprint and coordination so that just like with giving, we got a lot of affinity groups, like what Wally was talking about. You got the Rattler F Club, you got 220 Club, you got a lot of affinity groups, and they all giving, but it's disjointed, and you would
Right.
like to have it so that everybody is not only giving, but they're giving to not what they picking and choosing so much as to the needs of the program, right? Um,
Gotcha.
and I would just like a lot more structure. That's why when Dr. Friday was on, I was talking about athletic campaign and getting to that point. We just need leadership to make it happen, man, at this point, and continue to just build upon the foundation. But we got to set the foundation first, right? And
Yeah.
that's what we haven't taken time to do.
We my producer tells me we do have a caller on the line. Let's see if the caller's there. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is KJ, and I'm calling from South Florida. What I was
All
calling
right.
about, man, is that can you hear me okay?
We can. Thanks for
Yes.
calling, KJ. What's on your mind?
Okay, man. I was just what I'm calling about is that I'm a former student athlete at Florida A&M, been supporting FAMU for the last 30 years, man. I was listening to Dr. Friday Shroud speak about, I think she used the term "give and let it ride." Now, in theory, I understand what she's saying, but in practicality, there's a lot of us who's been just doing that, and letting it ride has led to 7 ADs in 10 years and almost 10, 11 coaches in 20 years. And one of the things that to show you the real-time dysfunction, now, in a couple more weeks, FAMU is going to have the tour coming down here. Now, you're going to end up having a tour, I think started in Jacksonville yesterday, with, Mike is a great guy. I love Mike. But Mike is going to be asking questions from us and won't be here in 60 days. That's real-time dysfunction that you're asking people to give money to someone that's answering questions that won't be here. Even with Dr. Shroud's comment that the president wants to have a new AD by the beginning of the OBC, that's crazy. So all the questions that we're going to be asking Mike and he's going to be answering, it could totally change when someone else comes in with a total new administration. And that's further frustration, man. I'm tired of giving $5,000 a year to the FAMU program, and every time it's turnover. It's turnover, and it's dysfunction. So I say, man, hell no, I'm not letting it ride no more. Somebody has got to do something. I'm not giving no more, point blank. Until they can show me that they know what they're doing and they got people in line to do what they're going to be doing, I'm not giving no more. I'm sorry for raising hell now, man, but I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. So thanks for taking my call, man.
Hey, we appreciate you calling, KJ, and his voice is a voice that we have heard others have. So he's not the only one of that thought. The strike tour begins. Doesn't the strike tour begin tomorrow, Kofi, in your neck of the woods in Jacksonville? No.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or was it
I
yesterday?
believe
He
so.
said
Yeah, it
he
was
mentioned
yesterday.
yesterday. I thought it was the 23rd.
Well,
So
either way, there's a lot that I want to
hold
say.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me stop. Let me stop for a second. The fact that we don't know is part of the dysfunction of this whole thing. I honestly, I swear, I thought it was the 23rd, but then we hear it might have been yesterday. That's what we're talking about. The whole communication department of the university didn't go to Paris. It didn't go to Paris. Well, who's passing out the information? I don't see anything on our website about. I don't even see a tweet or a post about the strike tour. Has the National Alumni Association posted out anything about the strike tour? Sure, Rory had a podcast and it's been on. He's talked about it with Coach Simmons. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, Atlanta. Great. But if we don't know the dates, how the hell are we supposed to support this thing? Yes, it starts tomorrow. I thought it was tomorrow. Damn. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kofi. I had to put that out there. I had to vent about that for a second. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it is what it is at this point, and I'm going to be positive because people get very nervous and stuff when you start talking about stuff. And Wally's already hit, I feel, on the necessary points. Yet another voice that is in agreement for the necessary change that needs to happen on the highest of seven hills. We simply have to do better in that area. The one thing, as we've been talking about communication, it has to happen. So for those that, of course, are watching, please reach out to our newly elected officials within the National Alumni Association, or if you're involved with your local chapter, check in with them to find out what the schedule is, and see if somebody can go to bat to make sure that everybody's on the same page, because it's absolutely necessary at this time.
Man, God bless it. Let me
By
put
the way, can
the
we
phone.
get the new president on?
Yeah, hopefully we'll work on that. We'll work on that and see if we can get the new president on. Let's see if we can put that number back up there again. Appreciate KJ calling. Again, 678. There it is. 383-7623. The strike tour begins in Jacksonville tomorrow. I'm still going to hold on to my thought that it was tomorrow, the 23rd. Also coming to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, Atlanta, and that's going to be what if Mike Smith stayed on as the AD for the year? Whoever we bring in stays in there with him, helps in the transition process for like a 6 to 8 month time period because
No, I believe that's
otherwise,
necessary. I believe that's necessary. I think you
I
need
agree.
a transition team to assist with the transition. Every balance of power, every change of power, even with companies, you have people, or even changes of coaches, you have people there that are in position to help with the transition. I agree with you. That'll be a good idea.
At this point, given the way things are, I'm not opposed to Mike Smith staying on for a period of 6 to 8 months. Who knows? He may be putting in for
It's
the
too
job. I
much
don't know.
because you're going into a football season where you're gonna have the whole parking. You're coming into this whole parking thing. You got 5
Right.
home games. You don't know any vendors. You don't know anybody. You don't
He
know the lay
needs
of
to
the
be able
land.
to
You
make
don't know any of
decisions.
that stuff. Yeah, he needs to stay.
He needs to be able to make decisions. He needs to know that he is supported and has the ability to make the decisions, because people are going to want answers, and you want a new AD by the OBC. Okay, that's great, but that person, the window for that person coming in and being effective is gone. It is gone. So unless you're talking about maybe starting in January 1, but that person will at least get 4 months to kind of be a part of FAMU, see how FAMU works, work with Mike Smith as the transition happens, I don't know, maybe even be able to, if you're not dealing with all the day-to-day of athletics, at least maybe you can go through the staffing and figure things out like that. So yeah,
Well,
appreciate KJ
it's
joining it.
yeah, it's
It's what?
9:57 now, man. So
I know. Any last callers before we shut it down for the night? Any last opportunities? If you want to get something off your chest, it's a great time to do so. We'll try to see if anybody calls in one last time here before we get ready to get out of here. 678-383-7623. Any other news and notes, guys, that we might not have talked about that you wanted to get in this show?
Did we talk about the preseason blue bloods and some of the preseason polls and All American list?
No, but we can get into that next week. We didn't. Yeah, we can make sure to put that in. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good evening. It's Dr. Wilson, Lori Wilson. How are y'all?
Hey,
How you doing, Doc?
So I decided to call in because I've been your moderator, and I thank God we haven't had those bots tonight. I was trying to make a complaint to YouTube, but it's a very hard thing. But this is what I want to talk about, and all the rattlers in the chat, so we can kind of come to terms with what's going on with FAMU. Now, I think it was a few weeks ago I had made the call, and I said that I wasn't giving my money because I was so upset. Well, that has changed. I have decided that I would go ahead and send my money because of actually coming and listening to you all and listening to the plight of the student at FAMU. And I know we got a lot of stuff going on, but we really got to keep our focus on the right thing. And the right thing is making sure that our students and our university is supported. So I sent my check. I sent it because I'm no longer going to hold it, hoping that something's going to happen there. And I think every alumni has to start saying, we can sit back and complain about what's going on, but then we have to really, really, really figure out in our hearts and mind what we're going to do about it.
Right.
Are we going to sit back and continue to complain, or are we going to actually become active and do something about what's going on? We all know that Larry Robinson is not going to do anything. He doesn't have the vision, and yes, we're all spoiled with Humphreys. This man is not going to do anything. I'm very disappointed with the Alumni Association when they had that meeting. They all glossed over it because nobody wants to be confrontational, and they want to stay with the status quo. So that's bad for us to stay with the status quo, because do we want our university just to go, by the wayside? We can no longer do that. We all have to be active within this situation and change it. And so I decided to call in because I heard what KJ was saying. I understand his frustration because I felt that way too. But I changed just by coming and listening to you all, give me this information about the status and what's going on at FAM. And, it made me feel bad because that does not need to happen at our university. And we all have to remember the historical things that happen at FAMU, where we are because where we are. And also don't forget that and stay focused on what is correct and what is right. So that's why I went ahead and sent my check. And that's why I'm going to go ahead and do everything I can. Even though I'm a very busy person, I'm still going to try to make time in my career and in my life to do more for FAMU and actually be there and try to change it and not complain anymore about it. I'm just going to have to make that time in my schedule to drive down to Tallahassee and just be there and try to change it the way that we all need to see if we can put our heads together and get this stuff straight. So I just wanted to call in tonight and tell y'all, of course, you all have been doing such a great job in forming alumni. and keep it real. Tell folks the truth because I don't want nothing sugar coated to me. I want you to tell me the truth. And yeah, it hurts because it's ugly because this is my alma mater, who what I love, but I want to hear the truth so I can help change it. And so that's what I wanted to say tonight and try to be positive and just say, you know what, we are rattlers and we are mighty rattlers. And we're going to get this
Mighty.
stuff straight. So we all just need to pull together and try to see where we can do it.
Well said.
Well said.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Man, it's a lot of wow. I don't even know where. I think we're gonna have to end the show
No,
on
I
that
think
one
that
because
sums it up, man. I think that sums it up. She closed it out. She's still supporting, just like we said last week. I can't tell you the number of times that I've had conversations with my brother who's sitting right there with his orange and green shirt on, and he be like, "I ain't doing this no more, and all these ninjas and blah blah blah. I ain't doing it." Even myself, man, blah blah blah. I'm not doing it, but at the end of the day, it's family first. So let's find a way to just get the job done. It's not going to change by itself. Nothing changes without confrontation. So we are where we are, but as the real Rattler Nation shows up and speaks up and shows out, we're going to see the type of change that needs to happen. I was disappointed at the National Alumni Association, with just the day that I was there, but just to be following the stuff along, and nobody saw anything. Nobody wanted to address anything. Everybody just wanted to gloss over stuff, and that's not what
We
we
need.
need to be about
That's
in this
not
season.
that's not what we need. But the encouraging part is the story ain't in it. It's still being written, and just
Come
like
on.
Dr. Lori, she changed. Uh, we can change this narrative, and we just have to stay vigilant. We have to stay encouraged, right? I don't want
Right.
people to be discouraged. There's a lot of good going on. So we just trying to bring athletics to the level of all the other goodness that's going on, right?
thank
And
you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
and we passionate about it. We are in case the administration ain't realized, we're an athletic school, particularly football, but we're an athletic school. We give a damn, and we
Mm-hmm.
need our leadership to give a damn. And if they don't
Amen.
give a
Listen.
damn, we're gonna put a foot in their damn butt.
Amen.
It's coming. It
Mic
might.
check.
It used. Hey, it used to be one nine,
Hey,
and then it was three.
I
Nine's
think
20.
that needs
The
to be
number's
marketed.
coming.
Hey, I think we need to market that right there. We can close with that nice little phrase. Put that on the shirt. We give a damn. At FAMU, FAMU is where we give a damn. So listen,
O&G
we
Strike Zone.
need,
We give a damn.
and
There it
we
is.
want,
O&G
and on the
Strike
back,
Zone. We give a damn.
yeah, and on the back we gonna have, and we want the administration to give a damn. Now, so that's what we are about on the highest of Seven Hills. We argue the way that we do. We fuss and fight the way that we do because we give a damn, and we want to see FAMU give a damn. Now, God bless you.
Amen.
Good night.
God bless you. Well said, fellas. I got to give a thanks again to Wally Williams for coming in and joining us. Thank you, KJ, Dr. Lori, for calling in. Dr. Lori, for even being the moderator in the chat room. Thank you to all of you in the chat room for your comments and commentary. Please make sure to give a thumbs up to the show when you're leaving, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. And if you haven't already, make sure you've downloaded that Jericho Broadcast Network's app on the Google or Apple Play Store. My JBN or My BCSN is where you can find us. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ONG Strike Zone. You can even contribute Scroll all the way to the top on the chat in YouTube. There's a link to make a donation to the show. You can scroll all the way up to the top real quick, and you'll see that donation link. We appreciate the cup of coffee, anything that you do to donate to the show. We appreciate everybody. That's it for my fellow Rattlers, Kofi Hemingway, Kelvin Rozier, for our producer, Melody Lucas in the background, doing a great job. I'm Brian Fulford, asking all of you to give, be safe, and be vigilant, because we give a damn. So Rattler Nation, go ahead and strike, and strike again. Harder and harder and harder each time.
RattlerNationGivesADamn.com. RattlerNationGivesADamn.com. God bless y'all. Good night.